What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Welcome to 2024. We get to reset the books. We get to do it again. We get to see what this stock market's got in store for us. So very, very exciting. Hope you guys all had a great holiday season. Hope you guys had a fantastic New Year's Eve. If you guys did anything fun, throw that into the chat. Let me know. I want to see what all the actual fun people do. Like I need to know. I need to know for next year what actual fun people do. So I need to start planning a full year in advance. But I had good holiday season, good New Year's Eve. Spent a lot of time just building toys after Santa came. So apparently nothing comes with assembly required, but that's okay. That's okay. But man, we got the squadron piling in already today. Bright and early. Good morning to Al. We got Albert in the house. Good morning to Bill D, Eric, George, Greg K, Greg Gilbert. Good morning to Jay, Joe, Liza's in the house. Lauren, Martina. Good morning to Richard Jet in YouTube land. Daniel, MS. Is it MS Kai? I'm gonna go M Sky 2002. 2002. We gotta update that YouTube name, I think. It's 2024, baby. Let's go. Market, a little bit of a gap down. Interesting on the SPY. So pretty bullish the last week of low volatility. So this is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. So this is the this is all that low liquidity end of the year hanging out. Pretty decent, okay close, nothing too crazy. But then we get this gap down today. So still, I think heading into the end of the year, into the ball drop, into the fireworks show, however, wherever in the world you guys live, I know it's different things, but I would say the market was pretty fairly bullish for the year. I mean, pretty fantastic run, not giving really anything back at the end. So I think there was expectations at least for some bullishness to start the year off, and we are getting this gap down. So the question is, and I think it's a fool's game to ask anybody on the first trading day of the market, do we think this market is going to be bullish or bearish this year? I mean, how many different how many different opinions and different time frames did we have just last year alone of like, okay, this is it. This is where we pull back. This is where we start to rumble. It like there's a lot that could happen this year. So I think thinking a full year out, this time next year, is the market higher than here? I don't know. That's a tough one to answer. For right now, providing that if we're going to go on the basis that all of the information we need for 2024 we already have, yeah, I would say it's pretty bullish. We are in an election year as well, so that's typically lends a hand to the bullish side of things. And the markets in general are built to go higher over time. So that there's a lot there to keep us bullish. We know that there's going to be some rate cuts coming in. The question is why, when, and how fast and furious from Jerome Powell this year. So we'll see what happens on that. But at least for this gap down, we do have a gap. This is going to be, I wouldn't say an extremely important gap by any stretch of the imagination. Like how we close today is going to tell us a lot. I don't think it will, because again, we still have a lot of time to go. But every day we've seen some kind of gap down, not every day, but for a good portion of them for the last 3 months, 90 days, 120 days, whatever it was, most of those gap downs were all bought up. So we definitely had buy the dip mentality in a worst case scenario. Question is, do we still have that same mentality, or people saying, let's not buy anymore. Let's see if this thing can get a pullback. And we are getting a little bit of a pullback today. Is this going to be a buyable dip? I don't know. That's going to be the question. So that's what I'm looking for the end of the year. See if we still have that same must buy everything for no reason. There's still a couple indicators that will tell us that this market is still a little bit highly overvalued. The key one, I think, at least according to Warren Buffett, it's his indicator is the GDP. If we're comparing the stock market to the GDP, we're about 83%, probably a little bit lower today. Because of this gap down. But as of close on Friday, we were about 83% overvalued in the actual market. So That usually tells Warren Buffett at least to just pause and wait and see if we get some kind of pullbacks. And maybe the stock market is not the best opportunity yet until we get more of a pullback, but we'll see. Obviously, time will tell. Time is important. That's the one thing I think with Warren Buffett. Everybody looks at Warren Buffett like, how'd you do it? What's the key? I mean, the key is buy good companies that pretty good. Not he doesn't even buy it at like really great valuations. He buys good companies at good valuations. I think a lot of people, even everybody talks about Coca-Cola. When he bought Coca-Cola, it was not even viewed at like a really great valuation. It was still pretty highly priced, but it was a good company and he saw some growth in it, right? So the biggest thing is time. So if you have more time, if you're a long-term investor, it doesn't matter if we're gapping down today. If day trading, swing trading, yep, all that's going to come into play here. Position building, pyramid building, all that is going to be very, very helpful for watching these charts. Otherwise, you're just looking at valuation. So we'll see. We are at a key level, at least first key level, which would be right here, somewhere around 471.80 on the SPY. What worries me is we've already come back to hit that. So we've hit that once. I would say the next level down from there, which we didn't quite get to, would be about 471.63. But I see two VPOCs in here. That gives me a little bit of room, a little bit of support. Otherwise, I'm value areas. The resistance is now going to be above us. I would say 472.83 has got to be where we break out if we do want to continue up higher. It is a retest gap. Otherwise, could we get back down to this 468.83? I don't know about today. I don't know about today. It seems a little wild. We've been down in that zone twice, and I think if we're getting any kind of close below 470, I think there's going to be some alerts going off. You're going to start seeing a lot of talking heads on TV start going like, yeah, maybe we're overvalued and we're just waiting for a bigger dip. But I think that's where it gets a little scary. Although once you come into there, you can see on my screen, we already have a whole bunch of moving averages starting to come in, looking to maybe prop it up, keep it there. So I don't know that this is a big sell-off that we're getting. It could be retested. But the one thing in this market, and we'll get to the Qs in a second, but Apple did get a downgrade today. I think they said anywhere below 160 for the downgrade on Apple. So watch Apple today. It could be some volatility. I think from close we're about 2% down on the day, but again, this is going to cause. We'll have to see if this one gets some kind of a bounce back or not. But Apple is a heavily weighted stock in the SPY, so that's definitely going to lend a hand to putting some pressure on the overall stock market if Apple does come down. And 160 is a pretty far drop down as well. So we'll have to see if that adds any pressure. As far as Apple's levels are concerned, we need to get back above 188.84. Right now, I'm looking at that as resistance. And then if we get past it, the next little resistance is about 189.60. This is a retest gap, right? So we did sell on Friday. I don't really like, I'd have to, it's kind of one of those things I want more time because I don't trust any of these candles. Any of the candles that came in last week, I don't trust them as much as I would say if we go out a week from today and we're looking at today's candles, tomorrow's candles, Wednesday's candles, or Thursday's candles, because there's volume on those. A lot of the market was, a lot of the traders, a lot of volume, a lot of the mutual funds, hedge funds, they were off on this day. So I don't put too much weight on those numbers. I will put a little bit more weight on this open though. And I'm not liking the fact that we are below this 188.78. So see if we get a little bit of a bounce. I do think that there's going to be some people like, why can I not get a dip to buy? And this is a dip. I just don't think it's large enough for really that many people to get excited. I don't know. That's me. I don't think so. We'll see what happens though. But yeah, we got to clear that 188.78 zone on Apple. And if we can't, we'll probably come down a little bit further, maybe into this 186.09. Again, all that's going to add more pressure to the SPY. Yeah, I have it right there, 186.50. 185. So we'll see if Apple wants to continue more pressure into the market. We got the Qs. Q, same thing, a little bit of a gap down, still into a little bit of support here at open. It is a retest gap, although again, I don't love adding too much value to the last few days of candles because I don't trust them. Actually, we're looking like we're opening slightly below that VPOC with one other one right here, and that's going to take us to 405.55. So we got to see if that one holds. If we start to break that, I'll just call it 405 zone. We could probably 405.50. We start to break 405.50. There's nothing really stopping us back down into 403.32. And again, that would look like a little bit of a pretty big drop considering that we closed all the way up at 409 on Friday. I think we get, I think in the morning we get some kind of initial little bounce, some kind of little bit of a rally. Do we get all the way back to 409.55 today? I don't know. I think that's a tough one. I'd probably be looking for at least the first target to the bull side would be about 407.55. And then if this thing really wants to pick up, maybe we hit like 408.42, something to that aspect. But I think this is 407.55 is going to be a tough one to break. So we'll see. TLT. I don't think we have the first Fed meeting till January 31st is the next rate meeting, which I think it's widely expected that nothing happens on the first one. So that pushes us off probably into February, I guess. TLT, a little bit of a warning sign. This is not a great strong bullish gap for any stretch of the imagination. This is a bearish gap down again. Still a retest. Still inside this initial candle right here, which is good. I don't really have a VPOC on this one down to 95.85. I've got the 200 at 96.56. So some levels of support a little bit lower. Otherwise, unless we have heavy volume area, no, we got more of the volume area above us. That takes us into this 96.38. So watch TLT. We could start to get a little bit of a pullback here. And again, that could also put a little bit of fear, I guess, into the market. Bonds start picking up and going crazy again. We'll see. I don't know. If you guys have tickers, let me know. We'll go through those right now. But otherwise, it looks like the market, I think it's dipping, but I don't think it's enough for really people to get excited. Coinbase, yep, crypto still going nuts. Coinbase gapping up a little bit. That was a big sell-off day on the last trading day of the year. So this takes us, the range on it was about 187.17 all the way down to 170.96. Big bearish engulfing candle. This is also a 3-bar reversal on this one too. Again, with coin though, you have to look at what actually Bitcoin's doing. So this is where we opened. This is where we closed. We had all of that pressure in there, but Bitcoin is going crazy still. So Bitcoin had a good day. I don't know if it pulled back already or not. I figured you with the DraftKings dancers. So this is a reversal sign. The next big bull break on Coinbase, we'd have to break out of this 190. It did already get a little far extended from where I was at least saying I think the next target was. I was pushing this 175, 176 zone for a while. And that was just because, and that was from, we were down at like 100 somewhere. But I was like, this thing's got a lot of room on it. There was none of that volatility there. If we start to lose this level and we come down a little bit further, we could see back to like 138.81. Obviously not today. I don't want to say obviously, maybe something crazy happens, but I would be shocked if that was the case. Otherwise, for Coinbase, we got to get back above probably about 178.66. So I would put some kind of targets into that. Let's take a look real quick at Bitcoin BTC. And you got Bitcoin still running. Even into this very moment. So that's going to be bullish for Coinbase. Maybe we get some more buying into that. I do see that there's a little bit of resistance above us. Today wouldn't be the day I would short Coinbase. I think it would be a little tougher to go bullish, but much rather go bullish than bearish on Coinbase. Just knowing that the underlying asset, which is Bitcoin, and I think we still have that ETF supposedly coming out pretty soon, I think, which is going to be another wave. Otherwise, yeah, I would look even for targets back to 184. I'm going to throw this one actually pretty high on the list. I'm going to throw this one relatively high on the list, just as a play on crypto. Still moving. Let me see if there's any pre-market support levels that we could take a break of. And then the other ones to watch too, just in the crypto space, would be Riot and Mara. They have big short floats, so they could get moving too. Let's go out to a 15. How many waves do we got? Maybe this is a 1, 2. This is a 3, 4, 5. All right. We could probably play a 15-minute entry if I was to play this thing. Something to the extent of this entry here. I will throw stops down here. Something like that. I don't know how willing I'd be to take this out of the gate before the bell. I almost want to see it come back down one more time and bounce again off this 175.63. Otherwise, that could be this. I think this is probably a wave 5. Some little consolidation in here, and then we get the break would be good. But let's take a look real quick at Mara. Tesla pre-market volume is super high. That's because everybody missed Tesla. That's probably why. Everyone's like, man, 3-4 days without trading Tesla. We'll do it all pre-market. Mara, again, this one's got a good short float. You're gonna hit a little bit of resistance at 28.89, but with the short float on Mara, it's got, especially with crypto going crazy, I would assume that we could probably break that. I wouldn't be shocked if we did, but that is going to be a good resistance on it. You guys want to take a look at Boeing? Let's take a look at Tesla first. Tesla. A little bit of a gap up. Personally, and admit, so maybe I'm biased on this one. I want it to come down to like 238, and then I'll probably get some calls. Just based on a weekly TTM squeeze. So I'm still being as patient as possible. Good bounce though. Off that first moving average. Which is the 20. So we got a good bounce. Again, last closing day of the year off that 20. We are above that closing VPOC. Again, I just don't trust those VPOCs as much because they're just low volatility environment, low volume. And then targets, the bigger target for me would be about 252.98. So if we could hold that, it's still not going to be an easy trade. We're going to have one resistance right in front of us, 250.36. Next one comes in at 250.90, somewhere in that zone. And then this 252.86 is a much bigger resistance. But even from a just risk reward basis, throwing some kind of stop underneath Friday's lows, so somewhere around 247.29, taking this thing bullish. If we start to break down, maybe 249.57, try to get your stops up a little bit, lose less than an R. Let me see what this pre-market volume is. Yeah, really good volume. Real good volume. Looks like we did come back. We already tested that miniature volume spot. Maybe you could take a pre-market break on this one. Question is where, which one? This is our third time we hit that support. I don't like the fact that this volume is increased on this time up. That tells me that there's still some sellers interested. Let's see if this one pulls back a little bit. Might be okay to wait. But we have some room to the upside. It's not crazy targets. Unity Software. Unity. Again, another retest gap. The pattern previously was pretty bearish though. Again, if this is where it's kind of a doge. That's where we opened. That's where we closed. We got some volume there, a little bit of volume there. So almost a bull trap-ish looking setup. Lots of bullish entries went right into here. We closed kind of at that retest. We were gapping down into some support. See if we get a little bit of a bounce here. Again, I don't know how far this bounce is going to be. I'd be looking. This is the important level I would look at in this one. You got two VPOCs right here, somewhere around 30, 39, 41, which I would expect a little bit of buying. And I think a retest into this $40 level would be fantastic. I don't really have any other VPOCs that says we can't get past that if you're bullish. So like $40.59 would be my real target. But the first stop is right here. So watch this 39.40, essentially where we're at now. If we can start to break above that, I wouldn't mind playing it for the retest into this. Otherwise, longer term basis, all of that looks like a big bull trap for right now. And then see if we can't come down. In the same sense, if we start breaking underneath 39.26, then you got that bull trap in play. And we probably have targets into 37.71 would be the immediate target. And that's if we get caught up by that 20 EMA, and then we have all the way down to a much better support, 36.25. So we're kind of 50-50, but it depends on when this thing actually wants to print at open. Caterpillar, CAT. Same thing. We still got a little bit of support below us. So I think a big target today would be 289.60. If that breaks, nothing's really stopping us since it's 285. But for today, at least, I don't even know if we get down there, but 289.72, somewhere in that zone. You're at one level of VPOC here. We'll see if that wants to be resistance. Again, technically, I just, the very beginning of the year, I just don't trust any of how we closed, if they count. And essentially, I mean, that was the entire trading week. The last final week of the year was meaningless based on this open. But yeah, a little bit of a gap down, retest gap. I'd want to see this one make some kind of bullish move at open, and then maybe we could try to reverse it. I just don't know if I don't know if the buy the dippers are still here or not, and just time will tell. Tesla says in Q4 Model 3 Y deliveries 461.5 units. Q4 Model Y production 476. So there's some delivery numbers come out. Okay. It's already made its trip down to, yeah, you're talking about Tesla. Yeah, so it did make it, but it didn't make it higher than that last resistance yet. I want it down to 238. So I still want this thing to come down a little bit more. Which really just matches up with this. This is what I'm trying to play on Tesla, by the way. It's a little bit of a longer term play. And maybe it gets there, maybe it doesn't. I'm just trying to have patience, but I'm playing this TTM squeeze. Let me get out of this screen. Can't find the pen. There we go. So what I'm trying to play is this squeeze on a weekly basis. So weekly time frame. I've got a perfect squeeze. I got all those dots lined correctly. I got that momentum coming in. We've had a lot of bullish buying in a row. The only thing right now is I want to buy it off of that 21 EMA. This will be an options play. So for me, and it's a weekly time frame. So I might have to wait more than I want to. Trust me, I want to get in as soon as possible, but I'm trying to be patient. So I'm seeing if I can get a little bit of a pullback into this 238, 240 zone, wherever this 21 is. And that's where I'm looking to buy some little bit longer term calls and trying to take advantage of the squeeze. But that's one of the few squeezes that I've seen that I'm like, yeah, I kind of like this one. So that's what I'm waiting for. Well, we'll see. Maybe I don't get filled. Maybe Tesla's just too bullish. AMD. AMD. And if anybody, I know we probably have some new traders being it's beginning of the year. If you guys are not familiar with TTM, just shoot me a message, whether it's on YouTube or Slack. Slack is better because I check those messages more frequently, I should say. AMD, so that one's getting a little bit of sell off. Again, this entire market it needs it. It needs it. This one, however, I would say a little bit more bearish than bullish. Even just using the I mean, yeah, we're gapping down, but this is a retest gap. I don't know if I would even use this one. I'll probably use this one on a regular day anyway. So most of this red candle is all inside candles, so that's going to push me to really people felt a certain kind of way about AMD here. And then we're also gapping into or below previous VPOC, which is there. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of a bounce. I'm not sure if it happened already pre-market. And then we start to roll. I would throw my targets down here. So just to give you guys some kind of levels, see if we get some kind of a bounce into like 245, maybe slightly above it, 245.01, something like that. Get rejected, and then I'm looking for like 241.70. So that one, I mean, $3 of room. I think we got some space. We could even go if we're trying to get in at 245. We could even get our stop above the high of this day, which is 246.39, something like that. So we got about a buck 39. $3 to the downside. That's almost 2-to-1 risk. Yeah, I'm gonna put that one higher on the list for a short. See if we get some more continued selling. All right, we got that one up there. Adobe. Nope. ADBE. There we go. What do I got? A minute left? How'd that happen? Yeah, that looks like a pretty dramatic drop. See if you get a little bit of buying, just only because I'd be looking at my first target about 584.52. So see if this one wants to come up a little bit higher. I would love to short it somewhere around 595.98. Not sure if I get that opportunity. But even if it comes to like 591.98, I'd set some kind of alert and see what happens into that zone. Get yourself some better risk reward on it. Otherwise, everybody out there, YouTube, first trading day of 2024. Appreciate you guys joining us each and every day. I look forward to trading with all you guys every single day of the year. And yeah, let's rock. Be safe. I'll catch all you